promised land. Joshua sends a couple spies into Jericho to check things out, and they encounter a woman who becomes a very unlikely part of God's family, a very unlikely part of this story of all that he's doing. Her name's Rahab. She's a prostitute. And so when a couple men come and enter her house, it seems pretty normal, average day. But the leaders in Jericho find out that these two spies have come in, and they find out where they went. They went to Rahab. And so they go looking for them, and Rahab hides them. And she tells them why she's hiding this, that she's heard about the God that they serve. She's heard about the God of the Israelites and all the incredible things he did to bring them out of Egypt and how he's taken care of them. And they've already defeated some kings on the other side of the Jordan River, and people have heard about these things. She tells them the city's terrified. Like they're so fearful. And she's like, I know that God has given you this land. And so she asks them to spare her and her family. And this cool thing happens, right? They tell Rahab, hey, here's what you need to do. We'll protect you. You protected us. We'll protect you. Just hang this red cord out your window, and we'll know that that's where you are. Anyone in here with you, bring in your family, whoever, as long as they're in here with you, they'll be safe. And it's such a cool comparison to the idea of Passover, where the Israelites smeared blood on their door frame, smeared this red blood on the door frame, and that made sure they were safe. Anyone in there was safe. And Rahab does something similar. She has to hang this red cord out, and anyone inside is safe. And if that were the end of Rahab's story, if she just did that, it'd still be a cool story. That like God, she believed in God enough that she helped the spies and God spared her. It's an awesome story, but that's just the beginning. See, because Rahab stays with the people of Israel. She ends up getting married, and she becomes the mother. She marries a man named Salmon, and together they have a son named Boaz. That doesn't ring a bell yet? Wait a couple weeks when we get to Ruth, then it will. Boaz eventually has a son named Obed, who has a son named Jesse, who has quite a few sons, and one of them is named David. I think you might have heard of him, right? Rahab's related to him. She's in that family line. And as we know, and especially if we're reading in Matthew, when Matthew gives us the genealogy of Jesus, it goes all the way, back to David and beyond. And we find out that Rahab's in this family line. And Matthew, not only could we figure that out because of Boaz and whatnot, but Matthew specifically mentions her, that whose mother was Rahab, and it's talking about Boaz. Like he specifically brings up the fact that this woman, this prostitute from Jericho, was in the family line of Jesus. What made her so special? Her faith. The fact that she trusted and believed in God. The writer of Hebrews, when he's talking about faith, Hebrews 11, mentioning all these great examples of faith as this cloud of witnesses that we have cheering us on, showing us, hey, we believed God and he came through for us. Rahab's mentioned specifically in there for her faith, for how she trusted God. She wasn't even part of the nation of Israel, and yet, because of her faith, because she believes God, she becomes a part of the family. She ends up in the family line of the future king and in the family line of the Messiah. She is part of this family. Same thing is true for us, right? That Rahab's past could have easily disqualified her in so many people's eyes. They were saying, oh, foreigner, oh, she doesn't belong to our people. Ooh, prostitute, she's got a past that it's just not good enough, she shouldn't be here. And sometimes we feel that way about ourselves, that there are things in our past that we think should disqualify us from being part of the family of God, should disqualify us from getting to be in on all that he's doing. And yet, here's Rahab serving as an example, that it's not about where we've been, it's not about our past, it's about believing in Jesus and letting him give us a new heart and a new mind and make us part of a new family, that he totally makes us into new creations. And we get to be part of this incredible story. We get to be a part of this amazing family of God. It's not about where we've been. It's about where we're going with Jesus and putting our trust in him. Love you guys.